Hey there. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. Before we dive into today's intense cheating story, I've got a quick question for you. Have you ever been cheated on? Or do you know someone who has? Share your thoughts in the comments. I read every one of them. Let's talk about it. Now grab a drink, get comfortable, and enjoy the video. If someone told me in early 2023 that my entire marriage would unravel because of a childhood friend, I would have laughed. But that's exactly how it started. My name's Adam. I was 26 at the time, married to my wife Emily, 28. We'd been together for 3 years. We weren't perfect, but who is? We had our routines, our inside jokes, weekend movie nights, and quiet morning coffees. I loved that rhythm until the day it broke. One afternoon, Emily mentioned casually that her old childhood friend was visiting town. "We haven't seen each other in years," she said. "He's just passing through." I smiled. "Have a good time," I told her, meaning it. I wasn't the jealous type. Not then. But one visit became 2, then 4, then 6 in less than 2 months. "So what does this guy actually do?" I asked one day, half joking. She looked up from her phone and replied, "He's a traveler. That's it. No job title. No specifics. Just a traveler." Something about the way she said it didn't sit right with me. It wasn't just vague, it was evasive. That was the first little crack. And once you notice a crack, you start seeing all the others too. One weekend, she said she was meeting him again. This time I offered to drive her. She hesitated. "No, it's okay. I'll go alone." That was new. I insisted. She resisted, but eventually gave in, smiling like nothing was wrong. I drove her across town. It wasn't until I saw him, her friend, that I realized something deeper was wrong. He looked smug, too comfortable. When we shook hands, I felt something dark in my gut. Call it intuition. Or maybe I just didn't like the way he looked at her. Or at me. I dropped her off, pretended to leave, and circled the block. That's when I saw it. They were standing in the parking lot, talking, laughing. Then he leaned in, and she didn't hesitate. They kissed. My heart didn't break. Collapsed. I drove home in silence, staring out the windshield like I was watching someone else's life. I wasn't angry. Not yet. I was just hollow. But I knew one thing. The woman who'd kissed me goodbye that morning wasn't my wife anymore. And the woman who'd walk back through that door tonight, I wasn't sure who she was at all. I didn't cry on the way home. I didn't scream or punch the steering wheel like in the movies. I just drove, blank, cold. But inside, something had already started to die. It's a strange thing watching the person you love betray you in real time. It's like your brain can't process it fast enough. I kept replaying that moment again and again. The kiss, her smile, the way she leaned into him like she belonged there. When I got home, I sat in the dark. No music, no lights, just me and my thoughts, circling like vultures. And then came the worst part, the waiting. She came home hours later. I heard the keys jingle in the lock. I didn't get up. I didn't greet her. I just sat. "Hey babe," she called out. "Sorry I'm late, we were just talking for hours." You wouldn't believe the stories he told me. Her voice, so casual, so normal. I turned the lamp on. She saw me sitting in the armchair, and for the briefest second, her smile flickered. Something in her knew. "We need to talk," I said, calm, too calm. Her smile disappeared completely. "What's going on? Where were you really today?" She blinked. "I told you, with Daniel, at the cafe." "Yeah." I saw. Silence. A long, cold silence that said more than words ever could. "I saw you kiss him." Her mouth opened, but no words came out. Then came the flood. Denials. Excuses. Gaslighting. "It wasn't like that. You don't understand. He's just going through a hard time. It was a goodbye kiss, that's all." A goodbye kiss? I let her talk for 30 minutes. I didn't interrupt. I didn't yell. I just watched her twist and squirm in her own web of lies. Eventually, when she realized I wasn't reacting, she broke. She admitted it. She had kissed him, more than once. They'd crossed a line, as she put it. But according to her, it was just emotional. No sex, just feelings. Like that made it any better. I didn't cry. I didn't raise my voice. I just sat back and said, I hope it was worth it. And then I left. I grabbed a small bag, walked out, and didn't come back for a week. She texted, called, left voicemails crying, apologizing, swearing it was a mistake, that she never meant to hurt me, that she loved me, that she chose me. But here's the thing. When trust dies, love doesn't scream. It just goes silent. And in that silence, something inside me shifted. I came back, yes, but I wasn't the same. She begged me to forgive her. She said we could rebuild. She said she'd do anything. And that's when I said something I still can't believe came out of my mouth. I'll forgive you, I said, but only on one condition. She looked hopeful, desperate. Anything. I'll sleep with someone else. Just once. I won't tell you when or who. You'll never know the details. But it'll happen. Her face dropped. What? Are you serious? Dead serious. That's my condition. You want to even the scales, right? She didn't answer right away. She stared at me like I just stabbed her in the chest. But eventually, with tears in her eyes, she nodded. Okay, but here's the twist. I never planned to sleep with anyone. That wasn't the plan. Not even close. After that conversation, everything changed. At least for me. Emily didn't know it yet, but the game had already started. I told her I forgave her. I smiled again. I kissed her forehead in the mornings. We went on date nights. To anyone watching from the outside, we were healing, rebuilding, moving forward. But inside, I had disconnected completely, because I wasn't staying to fix anything. I was staying to finish something. You see, I realized something during that week I was gone. The only way to win was to take control. Not emotionally, not physically, but practically, financially, strategically. I didn't want revenge in the form of another affair. I didn't want drama, shouting, messy confrontations. I wanted peace, and peace takes planning. Emily didn't notice at first. Why would she? She thought I was broken. She thought I was licking my wounds. She thought I was secretly planning to sleep with someone behind her back. And that was the genius of it. She was so preoccupied waiting for my betrayal that she didn't see what was really happening. I started slow, moved some savings to a new account under my name only, started helping out my little sister with her tuition, but in reality, I was transferring tens of thousands to an account she was holding for me. I moved the car title into my parents' name, cashed in a retirement fund I had from a job she forgot I even had before we got married. I even told her I'd quit my job to start fresh in a new field. She believed me. I didn't quit to reinvent myself. I quit because I needed time. Time to prep, clean, move, unhook, unbind. I became the best version of myself, at least in her eyes. Affectionate, supportive, calm. And she lived in a prison of paranoia. Every time I got a late-night message, she'd stiffen. Every time I stayed out past midnight, she'd pretend not to care. But I saw her eyes. I saw the panic. She never asked me directly if I had slept with someone, because deep down, she didn't want the answer. And that's how I controlled the narrative, by giving her silence. I weaponized the unknown. I'd leave little hints, a receipt from a bar, a strange perfume on my shirt, a suggestive text from a friend, completely innocent, but vague enough. She never confronted me. She just crumbled, slowly, painfully, beautifully. 2 years. That's how long I kept the act going. 2 years of calculated conversations. 2 years of polite dinners and hollow kisses. 2 years of moving assets, clearing debts, preparing every single detail. And she never suspected a thing. Because cheaters expect revenge that looks like what they did. But my revenge was something else entirely. This April, I told her we needed to talk. We sat down like civil adults. She probably thought I was finally going to confess, maybe even ask for another chance. Instead, I looked her in the eye and said 4 words. I want a divorce. She went pale, just like I had the day I saw her kiss him. Her lips parted, but she said nothing for a moment. Then, "Why?" As if she didn't already know. I answered calmly, "You cheated on me." And then came the moment I'd been waiting for. "But you cheated too," she blurted. "You said you would." I smiled, the first real smile in 2 years. "No, I didn't." She blinked. "What?" "I never did. I just said I would. You agreed to it, remember? You allowed it." She stared at me, horrified, and I saw it. The moment it all clicked. I hadn't just cheated back. I had made her live in fear of it. I had taken everything from her, quietly, legally, cleanly, and now I was walking away with everything intact, except her. It's funny how the smallest lie can plant the biggest fear. She lived for 2 years thinking I'd betray her at any moment. Every late text, every phone call I silenced, every time I stepped into the shower with my phone still in my pocket. She noticed, and she wondered, is this the day he does it? But I never did, because I didn't want revenge that ended in one night. I wanted freedom that lasted forever. The lawyer's office was clean, quiet, professional, just like I wanted the ending to be. She sat across from me, visibly shaken. Not the confident, smiling woman from 2 years ago. No, this version of her kept glancing at me, searching for signs of hesitation, of softness, but I was already gone. Not physically, not yet, but emotionally, spiritually. I had left the night I saw her kiss him. Everything since then had just been paperwork. Her lawyer began speaking first. He seemed unsure, probably expecting a fight, but my terms were already drawn, filed, and airtight. Emily looked at me like a deer caught in headlights. She was still clinging to the hope that we could fix things, until I dropped the final truth. "You cheated on me," I said again calmly, and again she said it, "But you did too." It was her last defense, her final attempt at balance, at leveling the field. I shook my head, slowly. "No, I didn't. I never touched anyone. I just told you I would." Her face went white. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. It was like watching someone fall and realize halfway down that there's no safety net. "You agreed to it. You accepted that deal. But I never needed to cheat. I already knew where this was going." She blinked rapidly. Her eyes welled up. And for a second, just a second, I saw it. Regret. Not sadness. Not heartbreak. But the brutal, bitter taste of regret. Because in that moment she realized I had beaten her. Not with lies. Not with rage. But with silence. And precision. She didn't know it yet. But there was nothing left to negotiate. All my money, gone from our shared accounts long ago. Every valuable asset, either sold, transferred, or signed over to family. Even the apartment we once dreamed of buying together, already in my sister's name. There was nothing left for her to touch, and nothing left I wanted. I didn't fight for anything. Not the house, not the car, not the furniture. I left her with everything she thought would make her feel like the winner. But she knew it was hollow. Because winning a war you started doesn't feel like victory when you've already lost the person you betrayed. After the papers were signed, we stepped out into the hallway. Just the two of us. She didn't speak at first. Then she asked, barely above a whisper, "Why didn't you just leave back then? Why wait 2 years?" I turned to her. And for the first time in months, I gave her honesty. Brutal honesty. Because I wanted you to feel what I felt. Every single day. The doubt. The silence. The uncertainty. I wanted you to wake up each morning wondering if today was the day everything would break. Like I did. She said nothing. And I wanted to leave clean. No mess. No guilt. No revenge. Just truth. Tears fell silently down her cheeks. She reached out to touch my hand. I took a step back. "Goodbye, Emily." And that was it. No dramatic goodbye. No long embrace. Just closure. I moved into a small apartment on the east side with my little sister. She was the only one who knew everything. She'd helped me move money, hide assets, stay focused. She was my anchor through the chaos. For the first time in years, I was waking up without heaviness on my chest. No paranoia, no pretending, just quiet, just peace. And in that peace, I finally understood. Sometimes the best revenge is not destruction. It's freedom. It's strange how quiet life becomes after the storm. Not empty, just still. For the first time in years, I could hear myself think. I could walk through the door and not brace for confrontation. I could sleep without waking up at 3 a.m. wondering, who is she texting? I thought I'd feel victorious. I thought I'd feel powerful. But truth is, I just felt free. And freedom doesn't come from hurting someone back. It comes from choosing yourself after someone else didn't. People often ask, do you regret not cheating back? Don't you feel like you let her off too easy? Let me be very clear. Revenge never brings peace, but clarity does. Could I have slept with someone else? Easily. Could I have exposed her to friends and family? Sure. Could I have destroyed her reputation? Without a doubt. But I didn't, because what she did said more about her character than I ever needed to. I didn't need to destroy her. She'd already done that to herself. What I needed was to never become her. Cheating isn't just about physical betrayal. It's about killing trust with 1,000 small lies. It's about making someone question their worth, their memory, their sanity. And the worst part, it doesn't end with the cheating. It echoes into everything, into every future relationship, into how you look at love. But it doesn't have to define you, not if you own your healing. Here's what I know now that I didn't know then. Silence is powerful. You don't need to scream to make an impact. Some of the most powerful statements are made in quiet actions. Not everything deserves a reaction. When you withhold the reaction someone expects, they unravel. You don't owe anyone your pain. Just because someone hurt you doesn't mean you need to bleed for them. The best closure is self-created. You won't always get the apology. Sometimes you just leave the door closed and walk away. I'm still in that same small apartment with my sister, though I've upgraded a bit. Got a new job, different field, better pay. I travel more. I read again. I write. I do the things I put on hold during those years of emotional lockdown. Emily, I don't know where she is. We haven't spoken since the divorce. She tried texting once about a month after. A simple message, can we talk? I deleted it, not out of hatred, but because there was nothing left to say. I had my peace. And once you taste real peace, drama tastes like poison. If you've been cheated on, let me say this, you didn't deserve it. It wasn't your fault. You're not less than. And your worth isn't determined by someone else's betrayal. You can choose revenge, or you can choose rebirth. I chose rebirth, and it was the hardest, smartest decision I've ever made. Because now, I'm not angry, I'm not bitter, I'm not broken, I'm just me, and that's more than enough. Thanks so much for watching until the end. I truly appreciate it. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to support the channel. It helps more than you think. Take care and have an amazing day. See you in the next one.